Okay, guys, I'm here today with Eli and Jared. They're from the Knight Jiu-Jitsu. They have the Knight Jiu-Jitsu YouTube channel. Guys, one of the nicest YouTube channels for like Jiu-Jitsu for self-defense. So they are very focused on that, on how to use Jiu-Jitsu for self-defense. And they're traveling like all over US teaching self-defense with Jiu-Jitsu. And I saw the channel, it's very, very cool. So make sure to check it out as well, Knight Jiu-Jitsu. And today they will show us here like some sequence of side control for self-defense. So not for like sport jiu-jitsu, for self-defense. And this is something that I always love to learn as well, because we learn jiu-jitsu with gi and this and that, but sometimes we don't know how to translate that thing very well for self-defense. So very excited to learn from that. There we go.
Well, like the thing I like about this is like I want to have as broad of a delivery system as possible. So if Jared and I are just training or just rolling as gi or as no gi, or we're throwing some punches in or we're not throwing punches in or whatever, I like to have a system that works in all those different dimensions if it's possible. So there's going to have to be little modifications and everything, but so some of these escapes that we're going to show from side control work like across the board, I feel like, with just a little modification. Like if Jared is here, he has me in the side control, right? He's gotten past my guard maybe, and we're gonna talk about this from a fight perspective. So I don't want this arm here to be able to hit me, so I'm trying to block out here. I'm trying to keep this open on this wedge. I'm pressing his arm against him. I'm blocking in here like on his neck. And I don't want him to collapse my arm, because even if we're just rolling and he got underneath my head, this is worse here sometimes. So I keep this arm away like this. First thing I would like to try to do, if he's trying to pull this arm back away from me, then I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna try to do this kind of uphill escape and just push him back over. If he doesn't want me to do that, and he feels that he's kind of throwing himself off balance, he may then try to throw this to the other side of the body like this, right? So if that's the case here, then I'm gonna wedge inside here like this, and then I'm gonna switch this hand if I can, this way. Now, I could be grabbing material here if you had a gi or whatever, or if I just go here, I'm gonna do, it's kind of like with a kettlebell, how you do like a kettlebell, like Turkish get up. And so I'm gonna push this elbow over here toward my leg, and then I'm gonna get here on top of him. And from here, I just had to take into consideration, how he could be striking me, what he could be doing. And if this is an actual self-defense situation, maybe I can do some damage or get him with some kind of submission or disengage and get out, depending on what the context is. Now, I always want to kind of go with his natural inclination of which way he takes the energy, right? So I'm not fighting like force against force. So if I do this one here, this is good if I can get the first one. If I don't, and maybe I time it, or I misgauge the energy here and I miss the arm, if that's the case here, then I want to look to try to sit up like this, like I'm trying to get out from underneath or go to his legs. From there, sometimes I feel him kind of drive the energy back into me, and so then I'm gonna go here, wrap around his head, and grab here like this, nice and tight, gable grip or S grip, and squeeze in tight here like this. Now I'm gonna bridge back where he doesn't have base. He has a good base over here, he can base with his arms, he has good base there. So I have to find that pocket where I can take him. So I'm gonna bridge over the shoulders here, kick back. And now again, if we're rolling here, then maybe I can use this to transition to something like a Darce choke, or maybe just control here, go for the mount, take his back. A lot of good opportunities. Again though, if this is a self-defense situation or even like an MMA thing, then I can use this to set up striking. So there's a lot of good like kind of delivery systems off of that, And then finally, one more energetically, if we go here, and he's here, I didn't get the first one, maybe I missed the second one, I start to try to get out, I go for this head wrap. If he resituates his base, I have to do something a little different. I can't take him here anymore because he has a kickstand over here. So I'm gonna drive, and I wanna make sure I keep him engaged, I keep him committed to that certain line of action. When I can get him committed to a certain chain of events, then he's gonna be a little easier to manipulate because his energy is gonna be a little more linear. So I try to drive into him like that. It's not working, so I slide down here into the hip, and then I look to go here and then re-establish my close guard, or at least maybe even take his back if I do a good job. So.
Also, and like, do you have like a sequence like this for every subject? For example, if the person is on the mount, if the person is on the back, if the person is standing?
I try to, because like I said, it's about delivery systems. Like the fewer kind of things I can have like that, and the more it's based on just energy and his natural movements and his natural like way he's going to take himself, that's going to be easier for me. And that's how jiu-jitsu should work. It should be energy efficient, right? And it should kind of go with what he's already given me and just accelerate that process.
No, I agree. And if I'm not wrong, pretty much every move you were doing, you were kind of like protecting your face, right?
Yeah.
So that's the goal there.
Yeah. That's a big consideration. I mean, because all he has to do is like land one shot. You see this all the time in MMA. It's like somebody might be way more technical, but they get clipped one time. It doesn't matter, So punch protection is a huge thing, and I think the way that we learned jiu-jitsu coming up was that was one of the big considerations, you know. And then it you know, as the sport evolved, or as it evolved to MMA or whatever, some things changed, some things modify. But I think that you can keep the true essence of the positions and the transitions and the submissions and all that, while still keeping it like street effective, self-defense effective.
I got it. Man, that's amazing. That's really good. Thanks so much, guys.
It's an honor to be here.
It was my honor.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.